All right, so let's go ahead and get started today. What I first want you to do is, if you have some sort of block or bolster or pillow, just go ahead and find a nice comfortable seat. You can also just sit on the ground. And let's go ahead and start our practice with just taking a few big breaths. Taking a nice loud exhale, creating a visceral reaction through the body where we relax. Maybe closing the eyes. Excuse me. And letting those inhales roll all the way up the spine so that we grow a little bit of length each time we breathe that breath in. And on each exhale, just imagining those shoulders getting a little bit heavier, a little bit more planted down into the earth. Now, as we take these breaths, I want you to think of using our diaphragm here. So it's that space that kind of nestles between the base of the ribs and our belly button. And I really want you to just breathe into that space where the inhales, they get big, like the ribs are expanding all the way out. And then on the exhales, we use that exhale breath so much where we contract that we're gasping for that next inhale. That's how we make sure that we're using that diaphragmatic breath. If it helps to challenge the breath, you can connect a count. So if you want to inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then match it with the same exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Allowing a pause in between each in and out. And if it's in your practice to set an intention or focal point for your time on the mat, now is a really good time to do so. Repeat it back to yourself 3 times, matching your inhale breaths. And if you're a visual learner, I like to think of my inhale breaths as the positive, and I'm filling my body up with those, that intention, repeating it back. And on the exhale breaths, I imagine it whatever is negative, a thought or a feeling, to exhale, pushing that away from the body, from the mind. And so for the next few inhales and exhales, I challenge you to breathe in the good and exhale the bad. Or in some of my classes, I like to say, inhale the good shit and exhale the bullshit. Pardon my French. Taking 3 more inhales and exhales here, paying attention to any detail and how the body feels, where the mind went in our seated meditation. what we hope to achieve in our class today. Maybe it's not even anything physical. Maybe it's more mental. Just trying to honor that as we start to attach movement to the breath and to our time. Slowly wake up the eyes and extend the legs all the way out. A nice gentle wide-legged seated position here. Big inhale breath. And exhale. Walk the hands forward ever so slightly, keeping the chin parallel to the ground below. A nice flat back, gentle fold here. Big breath in. And exhale, walk the hands to square with the shoulders as well over that right leg. Big inhale breath. Same thing, chin parallel to the ground below, and big exhale. Go ahead and bring it back to neutral and walk it over to the left side. Again, big inhale. Nothing heroic here, just gentle stretching as we wake up those hamstrings. And slowly come back to that neutral space. Go ahead and gently pick up the knees, place the soles of the feet onto the earth. Hands to heart center, coming into a nice seated Malasana. Again, being very gentle and easy on ourselves this morning until we get warmed up. I'm reaching my heart forward to my thumbs, taking a big breath in and out. And in. And out. Go ahead and slowly rock back. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves forward, moving the block or bolster, whatever we used, out of our way. We're going to come to our tabletop position. I'm going to face you guys because we're going to start to work left and right, but nice and long on your mat. Hands under the shoulders, wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Inhale, we drop our belly button and we lift our head and our eye gaze up. And then on the next exhale, we tuck our belly button in towards our spine. Eye gaze goes under, looking for said belly button. And we round our back of the heart nice and tall towards the sky. And then just start to duplicate this movement. Inhale, belly button drops, cow pose. Exhale, belly button lifts, round and curl, cat pose. And then go ahead and do this 2 more times. Go ahead and come back to a neutral spine, so we're not one way or the other more than what we're drawing the belly button in. So all I want you guys to do is just look over that left shoulder, trying to reach so much with that eye gaze that we find our left hip point. Simultaneously, our right rib cage is expanding and we're feeling a little side body stretch here. If you want a little more, take that right hand, reach it outside of that left pinky, and get even a bigger stretch to that right side. And slowly unwind, reset, starting to stretch our left side. Woo, left and rights today. Go ahead and look over that right side, looking for the right hip point. And then taking it a little further, left hand comes outside of the right pinky, really stretch. Thinking of the rib cage like an accordion and expanding it to its maximum width. Go ahead and come back to neutral. Take that left hand outside of your left knee in alignment. We're going to start to stretch up and extend that right foot. So everything's in alignment here. Right heel, left knee, left hand. My right arm comes high to the sky. Big inhale breath. And exhale, we're going to reach it all the way up and over, thinking of that right side body like a rainbow. Again, that accordion. We're trying to get the most length, the biggest depth of this stretch. And I want you to think of this right hip point peeling forward and up. Slowly unwind, bring that right hand back down, right hand in alignment with the right knee. Left arm extends all the way out, left foot extends as well. Big inhale. And exhale, really arch through that left side body this time. Big inhale, breath. And exhale, breath. Inhale. And exhale. So we're going to start to move through that, going back left and right. So go ahead and come through that tabletop. Left hand comes down, right leg extends, arch through the right side body. Big inhale, breath. Exhale, breath, sweep back. Right hand, left leg extends. Bring it all the way up. Inhale, breath. Exhale, breath. I like to think of this like jazzercise. To the left, to the right. Inhale. Each exhale, sweeping back to the other side, finding that big stretch. Each time getting a bit more comfortable. Exhale, sweep to the left. 2 more times. Exhale, sweep to the right. Last time, exhale to the left. Exhale, sweep to the right. Beautiful, yogis. Go ahead and come back to that tabletop position, tucking the toes under and starting to push our hips back to the heels. Now I want you to think of this as low as you can go. So we're going to reach the hands forward just a little bit. And we're going to start the base of our downward dog pose. So base of the ribs is touching into our quads from here. Our eye gaze is coming down to our knees. And then our ears are in alignment with our triceps, biceps. Grip down into the fingers and start to lift the hips up, keeping that connection where our base of the ribs is touching the quads. So a nice bent knee down dog here. Inhale, breath. Exhale, breath. Inhale, breath. Exhale, breath. Now you'll probably start to straighten the legs as we get a little bit warmer into those hamstrings, but this is always a variation of the nice bent knee, flat spine. Inhale. And exhale. Let's start to attach some movement here. Inhale, the right toes high. Exhale, look forward, step the foot between the thumbs. Inhale, bring the body up, crescent lunge. Exhale, we're just going to step the left foot to the right, standing at the top of our mat. Inhale, bring the arms up high. Exhale, open, cactus the arms, heart lifts. It's a big exhale breath there. Inhale. Bring the arms back up. Exhale, swan dive, taking up as much space as we can till we meet our forward fold. It's our first one of the day, so you might want to bend the knees again, connecting the base of the ribs to the quads. Inhale, halfway look up, lengthen, hands come to the shins, eye gaze down, flat spine. Exhale, as we plant our hands down, we step our right foot to the back of the mat, and then our left foot to the back of the mat. In our plank pose, our shoulders are in alignment over the heels of our hands. Big breath in. If this feels like too much, drop the knees. On our next exhale, we're going to come down halfway, squeezing those elbows into the ribs, and then we're going to scoop the heart high, coming into a nice settled Cobra Pose here with our knees touching the mat. Big inhale, breath. Exhale, breath. Try and disconnect the ears and the shoulders. So we don't want to be too crouched down like this. We want to be nice and open like this. Exhale, push the hips back, tuck the toes. Here we are at the base of that down dog as we lift high into a bent knee variation. Big breath in and out. Inhale, left toes lift. Exhale, step the foot between the thumbs. Inhale, bring the body all the way up, crescent lunge. Exhale, drop the hands, step the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, sweep those arms up tall. Exhale, open the heart, cactus the arms. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, take up that space, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, halfway look up, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, right foot to the back of the mat. Left foot goes back to meet it, plank pose. Big breath in. Exhale, chaturanga, coming down halfway, knees up or down, it's up to you. Inhale into our up dog. Exhale, drop the knees, push the hips back, tuck the toes. Inhale, slowly start to lift up into our down dog variation, knees bent or straight. Inhale, right toes high to the sky. Exhale, step the foot between the thumbs. Inhale, crescent lunge, bring the arms up. Exhale, step the foot, drop the arms down. Inhale, sweep the arms up, thumbs and eye gaze to follow. Exhale, open the heart. Inhale, arms up high. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, right foot to the back of the mat. Left foot to meet it. Next, exhale, chaturanga, halfway. Inhale, scoop the heart, lift up, up dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, push the hips back. Inhale, lift back into your down dog. Exhale to settle the breath. Inhale, left toes high to the sky. Exhale, step the foot between the thumbs. Inhale, crescent lunge, arms up. Exhale, step the foot, drop the hands. Inhale, hands all the way up, eye gaze to the thumbs. Exhale, heart lifts, elbows drop. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, left foot to the back of the mat. Inhale, right foot to the back of the mat. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to your up dog. Drop the knees if they're not already. This time, keep the toes untucked. Push the hips back. Release down into a nice child's pose where the forehead makes its way towards the ground. If you happen to connect, go ahead and rock gently side to side. Just feeling that gentle pressure on the forehead. Walk the hands over to the right side, stacking the left palm on top of the right and dropping the body back down. Think of anchoring down through that left hip and left pinky finger. Try and steady the breath. I know we added a little bit of movement and flow today, but I think we probably need it. Walk the hands over to the left side, right hand stacks on top. Meld the body back down, anchoring through that right pinky and right hip point. Slowly come back to center. And go ahead and tuck those toes under. Pick those hips up, come back into our down dog. So we start to add on a little bit today. Big inhale, breath through the right foot. Exhale, look forward, step the foot between the thumbs. Inhale, bring the body up, crescent lunge. Now exhale, what we're going to do is we're going to create a straight line from the left heel to the fingertips. Exhale, take those pinky fingers back and keep everything else stabilized and static in the body. Inhale, reach them forward. Exhale, take them back. Last time, inhale, bring them forward. Exhale, take them back. This time, as you bring them forward, come all the way up and drop that left heel down so that the knife edge of that left foot is mirroring and parallel to the back edge of your mat. Still keeping a deep bend in that right leg. Bring those arms all the way out, warrior two. Inhale, breath, straighten and lengthen. Exhale, settle back down. Inhale, straighten and lengthen. Exhale, settle back down. Last time, straighten, lengthen. Exhale, settle back down. Now straighten the legs and start to bend into that back left knee. So we straighten the right leg, so we're just opposite. Straighten right leg, bend left knee. Left knee's pointing forward towards your camera. Start to settle back down, all the way down into a Skandasana Stretch, which is a back runner's lunge here. So we're nice and open through that left hip and the right hip. Hands come to heart center, big inhale, breath. Now if the left heel happens to meet the ground, awesome. I'm not quite there yet in my practice, so I'm a little bit floating here between a toe stand and a grounding posture. Bringing my hands to heart center, inhale. And exhale. Now slowly plant the hands to the back of your mat, and let's go ahead and flip so all 10 toes face that edge of the mat. Big inhale breath. And exhale breath. Inhale, bring those arms all the way up, crescent lunge. We've been here before, just reorienting ourselves here to the back edge of the mat. Start to reach forward so we have a strong line from crown of the head to the back right heel. Exhale, hands drop back. Inhale, bring them forward. Exhale, drop them back. Inhale, bring them forward. Last time, exhale, drop them back. Inhale, bring them forward all the way up. Drop the right heel down so it's the knife edge of the back short edge of our mat. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, straighten and lengthen. Exhale, back down. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale, set right here. Keeping those arms straight in the right leg. Bend into that right knee. So we're pushing that knee forward. You might even come out a little bit like between a 90 and 45 degree angle with that right foot. And then we slowly start to set down into that right side. Big breath in. And out. In. And out. Plant those hands down around the front part of your mat. And then lift the hips, all 10 toes face forward. Big breath in. And out. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves back up to that crescent lunge. Reach forward. Exhale, drop the fingertips back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward, really testing our breath today, yogis. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, bring it all the way up, warrior two. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deep. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deep. Last time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, nice and deep. This time, lengthen the legs. Pick up those right toes and face them forward to mirror the left toes. Inhale, breath, arms nice and wide. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Nice wide-legged stretch here. Now what we naturally want to do is make it easier for the hamstrings, so you might be holding yourself up, or you might be pushing your booty back. What I want you to think of is drawing the attention forward into the toes and releasing the hands so we grab opposite elbows. The more we shift the weight into the toes, the more intense the stretch is on the hamstring. Continuing our breathing. Inhale, look up, halfway lengthen. Exhale, bring those hands to the waist. And inhale, slowly come on up. Big breath in. Now what we're going to do is shift the weight forward in the toes and drop the heels in. I'm slowly going to slide down an invisible wall behind me so I have a nice flat spine. I'm dropping down, my knees are opening out rather than collapsing in. We want to just take a tiny little pulse here. I want you to think of 1 inch, not an exact measurement, but I want you to think of going up and down, up and down. 10, 9, 8, keep those knees drawing out, not in. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now hold it right there, and we're going to do 10 more because now I feel like we got that measurement down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, knees out, not in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Inhale, straighten the legs. Drop that right heel back out so that the knife edge is parallel to the short top edge of our mat. Lift those left toes up and forward. And then go ahead and come on off the heel of that right foot, back to our crescent lunge, back of the mat. Reach the arms forward. Exhale, drop them back. Woo! Inhale, bring them forward. Those were small but mighty movements. Exhale, take them back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, bring it all the way up. Open it up back to that warrior two. Straighten and lengthen. Back down. Lengthen. Back down. Last time, lengthen. Back down. Stay right here. Straighten that left leg. Lift the left toes. Point them to mirror the right. And then exhale, swan dive, fold forward. This time we're going to walk the hands over to the right side. Stretching more emphatically in that right hamstring. Sweep the hands over to the left side, same thing. Go ahead and come back to center. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, hands come to the waist. And inhale, slowly come on up. Shift the weight into the toes and drop the heels in 2 times. As you slowly sit down into a nice seated Malasana, bringing the hands to heart center. Big inhale breath. And exhale breath. Inhale. And exhale. Let's just hold this for 2 more breaths. And then go ahead and release the hands, place them behind you so you have a nice little kickstand here where you can sit down onto the glutes and extend the feet all the way out in front of you. So what I have planned for the class today is that we're just going to work on some seated stretching. So really getting into the backs of the legs, into the lower back. If you're seated at a desk for most of the day or in some sort of stagnant position, this is often an overlooked place that we don't tend to spend a lot of time at. We're usually working on cardio and all these other things that we're trying to do to get our heart rate up, which is great. Hopefully you're able to do that today as well. But I'm going to sit here, nice and firmly planted, and if I need to get anything extra out of the way, I can. Big breath in. And out. So I want to think of how my chin is here now. It's parallel against the earth. So I'm going to try and keep that whenever I want to do something that's a flat back fold. And when it's flat, we probably won't go as far, but it is more intense and I think more effective. So all I'm going to do is reach my chin and my nose towards my toes. And again, I don't go very far, but hopefully you start to feel it running all the way up the hamstrings, maybe even the calves, depending on how tight your muscles might be. I'm going to drop my shoulders down and away from my ears. Big inhale breath. And exhale breath. So I'm going to ease off of that and I'm going to bring my right foot in. I'm going to drop my knee out and my sole of the foot is going to glue to the left inside of my left thigh. Inhale breath. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk my hands as far forward to square around that left foot as I can. My left toes are flexed towards my nose. So I'm just focusing on one side here while I'm getting an external rotation through my right hip. Big breath in. If it feels okay, you can reach for the toes, maybe even connecting, getting a little bit more traction here as you stretch. Now with each of these, as we stay here a little bit longer, you can start to deepen the stretch by thinking of the nose going towards the knee, getting a little bit of a roundness through the spine. And just a little bit more intensity as we focus on one side as opposed to the other. One more breath here. Inhale, slowly come on up. We're going to pick up that right knee and we're going to hop the right foot over to the outside of our left quad. I'm going to start to hug my right knee with my left arm and take my right hand behind me as a kickstand. So I'm setting up for the base of my twist here where my belly button is starting to shine outside of my right quad. And my shoulder on the right side is starting to open up, guiding my eye gaze to follow. Remembering to flex those left toes back towards the body. Big inhale breath. And exhale breath. Inhale, let that crown of the head grow a little bit taller. Think of yourselves trying to find those little, when your parents used to make inch marks on the wall, and you try and make yourself taller. That's always what we're trying to do on our inhales. And slowly start to unwind, starting with the eye gaze, then the shoulder, then everything down to the hips. So I'm going to twist here so you guys can see where I'm at from a different angle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right knee and I'm going to drop it out. So my right my right ankle is crossed up and over my left quad above the knee, and my right foot is flexed. So we do pigeon pose a lot in class. This is an alternative to pigeon if it ever feels like too much when we're laying down over the leg. I'm going to take my hands behind me, fingertips pointing forward towards my toes. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my left heel of my foot down to firmly plant onto the mat. So you might already start to feel pigeon posture happening here. What it's going to be doing is going to be running up the right side of our IT band and our glute. So this is a pretty intense stretch, so I ask you to just be patient with it and know that you don't have to go for glory, because most likely after a few breaths you're going to start to feel it more intensely wherever you landed. The closer that your right shin is to your chest, the more intense it's going to be. If you need that, you can draw the left heel in a little bit closer. Sorry, it's a tongue twister. Right foot's flexed. Mine's shaking even a little bit because it's pretty intense. It's like it's waving to you guys. So we want to make sure that that right knee isn't kissing the right shoulder. We want to be pulling it away as far as we can with safe distance. I'm going to ease off a little bit because we're going to hold this for 3 more breaths. Again, those inhales, think of the crown of the head getting a little bit taller. And then slowly start to push that left heel away from you, releasing the stretch. Release the right foot down to mirror the left. Maybe just bump it a little bit so that knees and everything else can just kind of like, woof, get a little breath. Inhale, go ahead and sit back up tall where we started. And again, remember that flat back fold where our chin goes forward towards our toes. And I just want you to mentally acknowledge and check in on how the right side feels as opposed to the left. Hopefully it's better, but I can never guarantee that because, you know, it's been a day sometimes. Inhale. And exhale. Good job, yogis. Let's go ahead and mirror that on the other side. I draw my left sole of the foot in to kiss my right inner thigh. First, I'm going to plant my hands down just to kind of square and get my bearings because we feel a little off kilter here. Chin and nose towards the toes, starting to reach, finding that stretch initially. And then again, if I want more, I can always reach for the toes and get a little bit deeper into this. Maybe start to feel it in the calf by drawing the toes towards my nose. As I slowly come up, I'm going to take my time, draw the left knee up and in towards the chest, and then hop my left sole of the foot around my right calf. Quad, not calf. Go ahead and hug the left knee with the right elbow and take the left hand behind you to kickstand. Inhale, crown of the head grows. Exhale, twist. And slowly start to unwind. Let's drop the left knee down and out. Again, the ankles crossed over the bottom of our right quad above the knee. Take the hands behind you, fingertips towards the toes, and draw that right sole of the foot up and into a comfortable spot here where we start to engage the activity of the left glute and left IT band. My left foot stays flexed, so we're making sure that we're keeping control of the knee so it doesn't have any weird twists or turns that it's not ready for. We're flexing that muscle while we straighten and lengthen the other one here on the left side. Again, if you want more, right heel comes closer to the body and the chest runs closer to the shin. And slowly start to push that right heel away from you. Go ahead and extend the left leg to mirror the right, and then just go ahead and bounce out the legs a little bit. Big inhale breath. And exhale breath. Inhale, come back up to that seated staff position here. Exhale, reach the chin, nose towards the toes. And then for this last one here, we're just going to start to round the shoulders forward, chin drops into the chest. Nose collapses like it's going to go down and touch the knees. I'd love to demonstrate that for you, but I just can't. And we hang nice and heavy. You can even think of those hands just kind of draping down, really lazy, heavy. Same with the elbows. Think of that weight working in your advantage so that we're able to get a little more intense through the forward fold. And slowly start to roll up back to that seated position. You can scoot a little bit forward so you have enough space on your mat. And let's just go ahead and roll as slowly as we can. Think of one vertebrae at a time, although I don't think it's really possible to roll all the way down onto our mat. Taking the hands out off the mat, palms to face up. Taking a nice big belly breath here. So we're going to take that pigeon variation again, but this time we're going to do it laying down onto our backs. A little bit of a different intensity where gravity is working in our favor with the weight of the legs. So go ahead and bring the soles of the feet down to the ground, knees pointing high. Feet are about hips width distance apart. I'm going to take the right ankle and I'm going to cross it up and over that left quad. Now keeping both feet flexed, I'm going to start to guide my left knee into my chest. And I'm going to take my hands through the figure four that I've created and interlace them around the belly of that hamstring. And the more that I draw the left knee in, the more I get into that right glute and IT band. If you ever feel like you have a bit of like sciatica or like agitation in the lower back into the glutes, gosh, you could feel that everywhere. This usually is a pretty good stretch to combat that while you're lying on your back. So it allows you to kind of have the gas brake of how it feels for the intensity. If you want more, knee comes in. If you want less, pull out. And if you happen to have someone with you at your practice, what you can do is you can take your left sole of the foot, and if your little assistant for this is around, you place your foot on their quad. And what that assistant does is they'll start to bend their knee, pushing into your sole of the foot so you have a bit of traction for this stretch rather than just pulling with the arms. Hopefully that made sense. If If you ever come to my classes, if we ever have them live again, I do that stretch quite often. That assist. I'll slowly bring that left sole of the foot back down onto the ground, keeping that right leg crossed up and over. All we're going to do is we're going to drop that left IT band down onto the ground. Right sole of the foot goes with it. And then we stretch the right arm and shoulder away with the eye gaze and get a little twist here. If you want more intensity, start to cross the legs right over left and drop both knees down to the ground. And slowly bring those knees back up to where we started. Release the right foot down to mirror the left. Reset the spine here, getting a nice center point again, maybe rocking side to side with the hips. Getting that sacrum nice and centered. Left ankle crosses over the right quad. Big inhale breath. Exhale, draw the right knee, both feet flexed. Interlace the fingers through the figure four. And stretch again. You might feel this one a little bit tomorrow, but I promise that's just proof that you did some work today. It's not a bad thing. Coming back to that intention and coming back to that diaphragmatic breath. How can we challenge ourselves here? Even though we have some compression in the abdomen, finding those big breaths in and out the nose, filling up the belly, the diaphragm. It's in the moments of stillness where the breath matters the most. So trying to hone in on that today. And slowly, gently bringing that right sole of the foot back down onto the ground. Laying the right IT band, knife edge of the leg down onto the ground, and then left arm stretches away with the eye gaze. You can stay here with the twist. You can bind it up a little bit more. You can even straighten the right leg out. Twists are really a personal choice. Everybody's built differently and it feels differently, so explore it. My dog's gonna come and say hello. This is Winston. Hi, Winnie. Thank you for the love. And then as we slowly unwind, we're just going to place both soles of the feet down onto the mat. And go ahead and heel toe them out, mats width distance apart. So that the knees are pointing high and that the hips are getting a little bit of a big rotation here externally. All we're going to do is drop the knees over to the left side. You might feel a little tug through the lower back, maybe even through the front psoas. That big connective tissue and ligament that runs all the way up under the belly of that right rib cage. You'll feel it down past the hip and the quad. And then go ahead and switch it up and over to the other side, knees over to the right. Same thing this time, feeling that stretch on the left lower back side, and then on the front all the way down, maybe even to the knee. And then go ahead and bring it back up into center. Draw the knees into the chest. Wrap the arms around the shins, around the knees, and just kind of rock gently side to side. And then soles of the feet shine to the ceiling. Think of the knees coming outside of the shoulders. And taking the hands to the knife edges of the feet. And then come into a nice happy baby here. If you're not quite sure what this should be looking like, literally think of a happy baby that's trying to grab onto its toes as it rocks side to side and coos. Usually brings heels in, kind of floats around. That's exactly what it should look like and feel like. Because let's face it, how can you be mad in this compromising position? And slowly releasing those legs all the way out. I would like to, but my little yogi here has taken up my space. So coming into your Savasana, that final resting posture of your practice, where everything kind of comes together. Hopefully you worked up a little bit of a sweat and that just starts to dissipate away. Hopefully the breath catches up if it was ever elevated, and the heart rate as well. And taking this position to just really allow your body to settle, maybe dropping the shoulders down away from the ears one last time, palms to face up. And think of everything becoming really heavy. Trusting in your mat to catch everything that you are leaving behind. Thinking of everything now that the weight is gone to become soft. Including the thoughts that you keep and where the mind goes. As you slowly start to come back to your body and your surroundings, taking just a few moments as you bring some gentle movements to the fingers and the toes. And taking your time as you roll onto your right or left side, cradling the head, the knees into the chest. And slowly bring the body up to to a seated position where we started our practice. Taking a big inhale. And exhale, let it go. Inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Bring the hands together to the third eye, thinking positive thoughts. To the mouth, speaking positive words. And to the heart, choosing to go easy on ourselves. From my heart to yours, yogis. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you ever have any questions, comments, please let me know.